Welcome on in today, George on tap. Let's talk about what's on tap. First and foremost, JJ McCarthy is now injured. And what does this mean for the Minnesota Vikings? JJ McCarthy was part of the Vikings' plans, whether it was this year or next year. We all knew Sam Darnold was going to be the starter. Most people realized that. Most people said that that's what was going to happen. But JJ McCarthy is now hurt. And JJ McCarthy being hurt, I don't think really changes much of the NFL. I think it might short term put the Vikings in a situation where if they have a bad season, they're going to be less likely to put in JJ McCarthy and give him his opportunity in a way where he is not actually going to play. Like, let's say they start off 1-7, 2-8, 4-6, and he's rehabbing his knee injury. I don't believe the Vikings are necessarily going to be wanting to come back and put in JJ McCarthy on the football field. I think they'll just ride the rest of the season with Sam Darnold, and that's okay. Not every single time you do something or you draft someone, it's going to work out in year one. A lot of quarterbacks take 1 year on the bench, 2 years on the bench, and that's what's happening here with JJ McCarthy. And I don't think this changes much as the NFC North. We just did our NFC North preview, me and my brother on the Sports on Tap podcast, and we talked about the NFC North in general. The NFC North is a really, really, really deep division. And the Vikings are notably the fourth most likely in odds to win the division. And there's a reason for that. And that's because the Packers with Jordan Love might be Super Bowl contenders. The Detroit Lions were a couple plays away from making the Super Bowl last year. The Chicago Bears have the number 1 overall pick in Caleb Williams, and they're looking to make a run towards the playoffs, which they were kind of close last year. They were actually not a bad football team. They were probably a quarterback away from being a playoff team. So yes, JJ McCarthy and the Vikings is not an ideal situation with him getting hurt. But I might argue that having him sit behind for 1 year, watch the team, watch what the quarterback does in Sam Darnold, learn the NFL, learn how to be a professional, it could end up actually being beneficial in the long run that he doesn't play year one, because this is not a team and he's not a player that I believe is just a ready product, ready to go on the field. And it's kind of funny because if you think about it, last year, what was one of the problems with Michigan? So many people thought Michigan's problem, the reason they wouldn't win the national championship, was JJ McCarthy. Whoever thought later on he'd become a first round pick and a top 10 pick on that top of that, or around top 10. I forget if the Vikings had the 10th, 11th, 12th pick of the draft. So overall, yes, it's bad, right? And you feel bad for someone like Justin Jefferson, who, unfortunately for Justin Jefferson, he still would love to have that chemistry with JJ McCarthy for a year. Now he's going to have go from Kirk Cousins to last year, whatever the Vikings threw out there with all the injuries, to this year, Sam Darnold, to next year, JJ McCarthy. The Vikings better hope they can keep him happy. They didn't keep Randy Moss happy, and he finally asked out for a trade. You don't want that with Justin Jefferson. And this could be the only fallout with Justin Jefferson, is the fact that this team, without having a stable quarterback year in and year out, are wasting the prime years of Justin Jefferson. But it's a great organization. They're going to recoup it. They're going to refigure it out. And they're going to find a way to get through this and have a really good like future. That's what I would say with the Minnesota Vikings. Now for JJ McCarthy, obviously injuries suck, but it's a torn meniscus. And torn meniscuses usually don't necessarily come in and, change your whole entire career. But I would argue despite all that, and despite of everything I said of McCarthy, I think out of a first-round picks, he's second least likely to be ready today in general to start. Number one, I put is Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is ready to start right away, ready to roll. Number two, it would be Bo Nix. And it looks like he's going to win the job at the Denver Broncos camp, and Sean Payton has found his quarterback of a future. My number 3 to start would probably be Michael Penix Jr., and he's not even going to play this year, just like J.J. McCarthy is probably not going to play. Number 4, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's played in college for so long and won a Heisman Trophy. He's pretty much ready to roll. Then J.J. McCarthy, national championship, ready to come in, take the NFL starting job at some point. Number 6 and dead last would probably be Drake May, who seems like already been a kind of a bust over in the camp for the New England Patriots. And you got to remember, in general, even though I think this is a fantastic rookie class, I think this is one of the best rookie classes we might see in a long time in the quarterback position. I don't believe you're going to find a way for all of them to succeed. Usually in a class like this, I mean, we've had that class back in the 80s with Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, and John Elway with 3 Hall of Famers. But when was the last time you've seen a class like that? It's most likely that we're going to have one be a super duper star, and I'll probably say that's Caleb Williams. One is going to be a super high-end starter. I want to make my bets on either Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix. And one is going to be a starter for 5-6 years in the league, maybe be a backup down the line. I'll probably put my money on Jaden Daniels to do that. And you're going to have a couple of these guys bust. Drake May could bust. Then maybe we'll stop drafting North Carolina quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky, Howell, and now Drake May. Or, in general, we'll find out that these teams have to keep reaching for quarterbacks. They used to say that drafting a quarterback in the first round and busting sets your team back 10 years. No longer the case. Nowadays, with the NFL and the amount of we're putting into quarterbacks, if your quarterback fails in the first round, you'll be able to rebuild in 2 or 3 years. It definitely sets you back 2 or 3 years. Look at the Carolina Panthers now. They have to give one more year for Bryce Young, and if he fails in that 1 year, they'll be looking for a quarterback starting next season. Shit, they might only give him 8 weeks this year and then decide whether or not they need to go find a new starting quarterback. So keep that in mind when you're watching these young quarterbacks, and let's see what happens. J.J. McCarthy's hurt, but I don't think this is necessarily the worst news for a team that does not have Super Bowl aspirations. What's on tap? All right, next, the CeeDee Lamb situation in Dallas. I don't know what the Dallas Cowboys, no matter what, make noise. It's in their nature. We're going into this season, coming off a season where the Dallas Cowboys had a great season last year. And what are we talking about? We're talking about, is Mike McCarthy on the hot seat? News alert. Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl before. And people say Aaron Rodgers carried him to that Super Bowl. Well, Aaron Rodgers has had other coaches. Never, ever won a Super Bowl other than with Mike McCarthy. Dak Prescott wants a new contract. Yeah, he probably deserves one. But are they going to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? That's pretty tough. But what else could Jerry Jones really do? You have a quarterback who led the NFL in passing yards last year. At one point last year was a favorite to win the MVP award. Are you really ready just to go and give him up? Probably not. And then you have CeeDee Lamb. He's a dynamic wide receiver. The dude is a baller. I'd argue he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL in no particular order, with Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, himself, Jamar Chase, and probably, let's throw Amon-Ra St. Brown in there. I'm probably forgetting someone right now, and I'll probably get a comment here on this video saying you forgot blah, blah, blah. But still, the Cowboys, America's team, an electric player. I think Jerry Jones is having some maybe PTSD. He signed Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago to a huge contract because it was time to sign Zeke to a huge contract. Came back and kind of bit them in the ass. Zeke never was as productive as he was the first 3 years of his career. The Dez Bryant situation. Dez was a great player, but let's be realistic here. Wide receivers can be divas and distractions, and maybe Jerry Jones is worried about CeeDee Lamb becoming a diva and distraction. They offered him over $100 million. The market is what the market is. CeeDee Lamb. If I was you, bro, I'm taking that money, going to the bank, going to play wide receiver for the Cowboys and become a Cowboy legend. You're one of the most electric wide receivers in the NFL. Take the money, enjoy your time, and become one of the best wide receivers in Dallas Cowboys history. Follow the footsteps of Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, CeeDee Lamb, Terrell Owens. These are really big names. The Cowboys are not fully committing. He's not fully committing. Time you guys find a middle ground. Because what the Dallas Cowboys cannot do this season is go in with this many distractions. You're distracted about CeeDee Lamb. You're distracted about Mike McCarthy. You're distracted about CeeDee Lamb. You're like the whole thing's a distraction. You had maybe the best defensive player in the game in Micah Parsons on the other side of a ball. You have a quarterback who's good enough to win a Super Bowl if all the cards fall right. You have a wide receiver that's electric. You have a team that won 10 plus games, 2+ years now, or 3+ years in a row now. It's time for you guys just not to worry about it and go give them the money. Show them the damn money. Get this contract situation over with. I want to see the Cowboys good. Look, I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. But I want to see the Dallas Cowboys succeed. Why? Because sports and football are better when the Dallas Cowboys are good. And guys, I just realized I have brand on from my other podcast. So let me put on the brand for this podcast while we're talking. So you're going to see a new little image here. I can't really find it right now. For some reason, it's not on my thing. It's all right. This is not previewing the NFC North. This one's wrong today, but we'll get this right here starting tomorrow. It's just me, George ONTap, by myself. So yes, the Dallas Cowboys should side CeeDee Lamb. The Dallas Cowboys should take care of business. And the Dallas Cowboys should find a way to make their wide receiver happy. And I would be hard-pressed to find any Cowboy fans who would agree otherwise. Or say, no, we can't sign CeeDee. It's too much money. No, go sign the dude. Find out, get the best version of his team possible. Because if you are also Jerry Jones, time is running out to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's not going to live a long time or, things are not going to be, he's not going to be around forever. But the dude is a little bit old. Jerry Jones is not a young pup. So Jerry Jones needs to find a way here to find a situation where he's going to win a Super Bowl and do it before he gets too old. He gets so much criticism for being a bad owner. But those days, like we talk about Jerry Jones, like Jerry Jones is not a guy who's part of success and that fires coaches quickly. He's stuck with Jason Garrett a pretty damn long time. He's sticking now with Mike McCarthy, despite so many people's calls that, they're going to fire Mike McCarthy. The days of him bringing in a coach and getting rid of him fast seem like they're long gone with the Dallas Cowboys. So I think it's unfair, the criticism we're giving of Jerry Jones, but I'm going to criticize him on one thing right now and one thing only, is he's letting this season come in with way too many distractions, and CeeDee Lamb is now just another distraction added on top of other distractions in the Dallas Cowboys. You have a golden opportunity here. The New York Giants are a mess. The Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat, and people are talking about Nick Sirianni being a guy right now that is like basically having problems getting along with his quarterback, Jalen Hurts. The New York Giants, I told you, are a mess, and this is probably the end of the Daniel Jones era. And the Washington Commanders are building things the right way, but they're a year or two away from being a team that can actually compete and actually do things to where they are actually a chance to win the division. I think that Commanders to me are a sleeper team, but I don't think they're a sleeper team that can win the division. Cowboys, public service announcement. You have a golden opportunity here in an NFC that doesn't have many great quarterbacks, an NFC that's not deep. You have a golden opportunity now to go out and finally get back to a Super Bowl, the first one since the mid-90s. And instead, you're coming into the season, distractions, 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 distractions. Get rid of these distractions today and go sign CeeDee Lamb. What's on tap? All right. Serbia. I want to talk about Serbia for a little bit. Serbia walked into these Olympics and they got a bronze medal with Nikola Jokic, and Djokovic won the gold medal in tennis. And I'm not sure if you saw the scenes in Serbia. I'm going to try to pull up the scenes in Serbia for you guys right now. But the scenes in Serbia were absolutely a heroic welcome for when the Olympians came back into the fray. They got a hero's welcome back home in Serbia. And just give me a moment here. I'm going to pull up that clip for you on how they actually, of course, I can't sign into to Twitter right now, how they came back in from the Olympics. A hero's welcome. And it showed just how lit the city was and how lit Belgrade is and how lit that country is in general. Here we go. I got this clip for you guys. Let me share my screen and present to you what it looked like in Serbia when the team in the Olympics came back. All right, let's get you guys this clip because it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing how the heroes welcome Serbia. Take a look at this. This is the fans in Serbia welcoming back all the Serbian Olympics. And here's Jokic, of course, and the crowd is going wild over Serbia, and really celebrating the success of the athletes in Serbia for how good they did in the Olympics. And you can see Jokic here getting emotional and happy about it. The guy is Serbia through and through. He loves his country. The country loves him. And the crowds are absolutely electric in Serbia. God, that just looks amazing, right? So that's what we wanted to show you there. And it made me think. I kind of wanted to go ahead and put together my top 5 most lit countries in the world, at least that I've been to, right? I can't go from countries where I've never been to, so I'm gonna go with my rankings. Number 1, let's start with number 5. Number 5 most lit country would have to be here, the United States of America. We love our athletes. We love celebrating when our athletics do good. Sure, we might not be as crazy as other South American countries or European countries, but when it's time to celebrate, we know how to celebrate a championship. Go see the streets when one of your teams win a Super Bowl. Absolute electric factory. Number 4 on that list is Croatia. Look, I've been to Croatia before. Fun country, fun people. They love to celebrate success, and they do a really good job at it. When someone wins, they go nuts, they go wild, and they show love on the streets, and they show love on the bars, and the country really unites together. Croatia has to be number 4 on the most lit countries to celebrate. Number 3 is Italy. Italians are notorious for having a good time. And when they win something, boy, do they know how to show off and have a great time. Go watch the streets of Milan when they won their last World Cup. Go see what Naples did when Napoli finally won the Italian Serie A after so many years. Italians know how to have fun, and Italians know how to celebrate with the best of them. Number 2, Colombia. Spent a lot of time in Colombia. They know how to have fun. They know how to party. They know how to drink. And they know how to welcome home champions. If you want some further proof, go see how they even celebrated in Miami by making the Copa America finals. They took over Miami. They took over Biscayne Boulevard. They took over the whole entire crowd at Hard Rock Stadium. They're climbing into vents trying to go and support their team. Colombia knows how to have a good time, and they know how to celebrate their athletes. And number 1 is Serbia. Look at that proof. Look, I've been to Serbia 3 times, actually. I'm not Serbian, by the way. I'm Syrian, for those who are watching for one of the first times. And Serbia really knows how to celebrate their athletics. I went to the Red Star versus Partizan, which is considered the most dangerous soccer match in the world. The fireworks, the celebrations were insane. I'll pin that video here for you. I went to their they hosted the Euro Final Four for basketball. The crowd was nuts. And here, when Nikola Jokic and company returned back from the Olympics, the crowd showed up like no crowd I've ever seen before. Serbia has to take that number 1 spot in the most lit countries to celebrate their Olympians and their athletics. They love their sports, they love their athletes, and they love their country. Fun times in general. I mean, look, if you don't know about Serbia, here, let me just give you a little anecdote and a little story. So Serbia, Belgrade, especially the capital, was voted the number 1 place in Europe and the world to party. The nightlife there is insane. You'll go out to eat around 8 p.m. I'm speaking from experience. Finish dinner around 10 because dinner takes 2 hours of drinking food, appetizers. You might go somewhere for a little bar to pre-funk from like 10 to 11:30. You'll hit the club at 12 till 4 a.m. And then you'll go to an after club from 4 a.m. till dawn. And a lot of people just go back to work that same day. Serbians know how to freaking party. And the Olympics just showed they know how to welcome home their athletes. What's on tap? All right, last thing on tap is the dumbest argument of the day. And oh man, I always talk about these things and I hate these arguments. But who is a better big 3 in the Olympics? MJ, Bird, or Magic, or LeBron and Steph and Katie? Come on, are we doing this again? Are we really always trying to compare eras that we can't compare? I talked about this yesterday about the 92 Dream Team versus this, whatever you want to call this team, this gold medal winning team. People always want to compare who's better, who's more equipped to win, who would win in a matchup. Yes, of course, with modern technology, modern medicine, the 92 Dream Team would lose this game if you put them in a time machine and brought them back. But if you took this team also and put them in a 92 bodies, maybe they'd lose. And the big 3, who's better, LeBron, Steph, or KD, or Jordan, Bird, and Magic? Does it really matter who's better? Because both are good in their own rights. Both are good in their own regards. Both have the reasons for being good. But instead of us like literally wanting to like actually enjoy these players and enjoy what they're doing here as players, we want to just argue who is better. And it's the dumbest argument ever. We do this all the time. It's the ESPN thing, a first take segment. The dumbest argument of the day today has to go to this because I don't know who's better. I don't care who's better. They're both well in their own regards. They're both great in their own rights. Sure, there's better training, better supplements, and people take care of their body more today. So if you sent Magic Bird and Jordan into a time machine and threw them into 2024 and played a 3-on-3 game with LeBron, Steph, and KD, they're probably going to lose. If LeBron, Steph, and KD were born in 1967, who knows what would happen? Because their bodies wouldn't look like this. They wouldn't look like they do at their age right now. We have to stop always wanting to do everything we can to compare eras. They're different eras for a reason. It's okay to love the 92 Dream Team like I do. And it's okay to love this 2024 Dream Team. It makes me wonder. I don't know. We have to do it by 40 years. That's every 10 years. Okay, yeah. 2044 Olympics. We're going to probably sit there and say, is blank, blank, and blank better than KD, Stephen, KD, and Durant? KD, Stephen, Durant, KD, Stephen, LeBron? Who knows? Stop comparing the eras. That we do this over and over again. We love to compare eras. We love to make an argument out of nothing because we like to fill time. So my dumbest argument of the day has to go to this one. Who would win KD, Steph, LeBron, or Magic Bird and Jordan? They'd all win in their own regards. They'd all do well in their own eras, and they all will find ways to be good. Plain and simple. 3 eras, 2 different eras, 3 different players. Stop arguing. Enjoy these players while you can because they're great players. And I'm just tired of it. So tired of the first take arguments that we have to find a way to make. All right, that's what's on tap today. I'm George on Tap, part of the Sports on Tap network. I'm going to be trying to go live here for you guys every single Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. It was a little late today. This is our first week coming back and doing this, so make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell so you know when we go live. We're going to do our best here to get you as much content as physically possible. Enjoy it. You'll see the podcast clips here on my YouTube channel as well. You can watch the live replay on YouTube or on Twitter or on Kick. We're trying to work out the kinks on Kick right now. It's our first day streaming on Kick. I don't even know if I did it right, so I'll have to go check here after this broadcast. I really thank you guys all for watching. My name is George on Tap, and you know what I'd like to say? I'll see you guys next time.